Hi guys, it's at Romanda Renee for Bolt Journaling, and it's Monday. It's here. We did not get enough votes for this episode to be live, as you will notice right now, whether or not you saw the announcements earlier. We got half, well, we really got 2 votes as far as make a comment, like I'll be there or me, for to make the episode go live. But then we also had people like the event or say that they were going to attend the event. So then I counted that as a total of 10 people. It still wasn't enough. But not to fear, we will be having a live episode. If you go to the channel, excuse me, and look at the episode numbers, you'll notice that number 3 is missing. So we're going to do a number 3, the missing episode. 3 is a special number, and we're actually going to do, I don't know if it'll be a live YouTube video or a live Facebook video, but I'm just going to sit and answer whatever questions or whatever comments, or if there's something like in my journal that you want to go back and see or ask how I made something, it'll just be a whole, basically it'll be your show, right? The missing episode. And I think it'll be in 2 weeks because I want to make sure it's not too close to Thanksgiving or Christmas. So that might be a mini deep dive that comes up soon. So, speaking of coming up, also on Saturdays, I'm thinking of doing Facebook lives for like 10-ish minutes, how long a normal episode would be, and just answer your questions whenever people are commenting with questions or with feedback in the actual channels on YouTube, or if someone sends me to on the Bolt Journal Facebook page and they just show up and go, hey, what is Bolt Journaling? Then I'm going to take Saturdays. So after Selfie says Saturday in the morning, then we're going to have somebody said, and I'm going to talk about what you said, and that'll be the crowd feedback for that day, or for that week, sorry, and I'll do it every Saturday. So if I don't answer you specifically, like right away within 24 hours, if you ask a question on the YouTube channel, I will definitely get to it, especially if it's a question, because other people, like if you have a question, like 5 or 7 other people are asking themselves the same thing or something like that, I will get to it on Sophie Says Saturday. Cool. So let's get to the good stuff. Today's mini deep dive is about our relationship to time. And you might be going, I don't have a relationship with time. Time's not a person. But you do, just like you have a relationship with your finances or your house or your car. It affects part of your life, and there's a dynamic there. So how is your relationship with time? Maybe it's good, maybe it's a little bit lacking, maybe you haven't thought about it and you don't have an answer right now. I don't know. But in modern psychology, we know that, I'll make a wish, how we see things in our life is typically a reflection of how we see ourselves. So, and this is not specifically one religion or worldview. This is just science, psychology, what you visualize you can achieve. It's neuroscience. I am going to use some vocabulary words that gel more with my personal worldview and my belief system, but just think of them as examples, because I am giving you the example of how I changed my thoughts, or how my thoughts got changed by how I was perceiving myself and my relationship to time in the process of doing the Bolt Journal. So just put in whatever your vocabulary is, put it into your worldview terms, but this is meant to be based on psychology as the main spoke, and then how it works for me obviously falls under my worldview. So don't get hung up on the terms or the vocabulary. So if I see myself as a limited being, then I see my time as limited. Make sense? And if I see myself as unlimited, or for me, the word I use is eternal, I'm an eternal being, therefore I have all the time in the world. See how the self aspect changed my distinction about time? If I'm an eternal being, I'm not a limited being, because my soul lives forever. I'm an eternal being living in a temporal body. Then I have all the time. I say in the world, I mean in my world, I have all the time that God gave me in this lifetime. So I have all the time. I'm not running out of time, or I never have enough time, or I didn't have time for that. Doesn't exist, because I'm an eternal being. I have all the time in my lifetime. So how I see myself, here's my example. I'm going to go deeper and sort of give you the whole distinction narrative, how it works for me, and then you translate it for you, how it works for you. Like I said, we're basing on, actual neuroscience for how successful people work. I don't have a book reference. I feel like I should be giving you like the psychology of successful people. You can Google that though. Okay, let's go deeper with an example. Okay, so I'm an eternal being. I have eternal life through Jesus Christ. I'm seated with him in heavenly places next to the right hand of the Father. Therefore, I have heavenly authority over my time. Right? That's how my example works. That's the whole narrative I have about seeing myself differently and seeing my relationship to time differently, right? Because as human beings in just the temporal plane, time happens to us. We're living in this concept, this illusion called time, that's a tool for us to measure the distance of our temporal existence. But God happens to time. I have to turn the page because I wrote down something awesome earlier for you. So, when you're an eternal being, your relationship to time flows in the prophetic. Prayers that I pray today can help me 5 years ago. Dreams that I have tonight can be my soul work for 2 years from now. And I have heavenly authority to consciously choose how I build my time, how I prioritize my time, how I use my time on earth. So what I'm positing or what I'm suggesting to you or offering to you to try on, you don't have to get married to it. You can try it on. See how it works for you. Try it on for 2 days. 2 days, try it on. Being in touch with and reattuning to the kind of being that you are and how you're seeing yourself, reattuning with the limitless nature of the self or the eternal nature of the self or the totally empowered nature of the self, however it translates to you. When I reattune to, I'm an eternal being, I'm seated with Jesus in heavenly places, my life flows in prophetic time and not earthly time. Then I can snap back into my healthy relationship with time. Doesn't mean I get out of it. This is philosophy. This is thought, training your mind. This is not, Amanda has all the time and she's never in a hurry and she's never late. This is a good one. Sometimes I'm late. I like to be early, but sometimes I'm late. But the philosophy and me coming back to, I'm an eternal being. I consciously choose. I have heavenly authority to dictate to my time how it happens, how I use it, like a budget, like a time budget. Then that puts me back in the empowered seat that I'm choosing. I didn't run out of time. You didn't steal my time. It's not a thing you can take from me. I have all my time. So then the awesome part is, then I start feeling like Rumpelstiltskin. I'm going to put my notes away because that was the one thing I had written down to tell you. Then you start feeling like Rumpelstiltskin, right? Because everybody else is just everybody else. Some people who aren't awake yet in the world are wandering around just going, time. It's just, I just don't have enough. I'm just too busy and da-da-da. And you can look at your life going, I'm an eternal being. I have been given this allotment of time in my temporal lifetime. It's like if Rumpelstiltskin walked into a barn full of straw. He's like, oh, this is my jam because I'm about to turn this straw into a hot commodity that everybody needs. That's why we're here. You wake up and you go, oh, I've been given this allotment of time in my life and nobody else. I mean, everybody else, oh yeah, time is money and all that stuff. But in our daily humdrum life, people don't put the same commoditization. Is that even a word? They don't qualify that time. They're putting on socks, eating cereal, take the dog for a walk time. They're like, oh, this is whatever. Or they don't think about it or they don't value it. I'm looking at that time going, I'm going to turn this into gold. I'm going to turn this into the hottest commodity, which is what love and energy and resources. Because I'm here. I have this time in my life. I have heavenly authority to decide what happens with it. I can then pay more attention to, I have all the time in the world. I have what people need. I don't have to leave my peace or be in a hurry or be behind. I can say no to things. I can say yes to things. If somebody asks me something, I could literally just answer, no, I'm not prioritizing my time for that right now. I'm not able to prioritize my time for that right now. Or if that's so far above their head, you could just say, I'd love to, but no. You just say no. Or you can say yes to things. You can stop and talk to the old lady in the supermarket that looks upset because you're about to turn that time into a hot commodity of what she needs. You're about to turn that time into attention and love and help her through that situation. So, so that's the philosophy behind Bolt journaling. It's an honor and a joy to choose ahead of time, okay, this is how I envision myself using my time tomorrow. That might change. Things get crossed out, things get whited out, things get X'd out in my Bolt journal all the time because the schedule is subject to change, especially right now when it's flexible, when I'm waiting on classes and things to start in January. But I still don't have to leave my peace because I already know, okay, I choose now, I have to do this now because I want to prioritize this family time. So I'm going to take, visually, I can see, I take that chunk of time that I had for whatever else, plug it in where I had time and keep rolling because I have all the time. Sometimes I don't feel like I have all the time. And then I have to sit down and go, okay, I'm an eternal being. Time doesn't happen to me. I happen in prophetic time and my God happens to time. So then you get back in the empowered seat. Get out of the which happens. It's real life. But you get back in the empowered seat and you have all the time. So I just want you to have this video to get you started asking questions to yourself. Maybe do a little 30-second brain dump journal or whatever it is you do to think about and get clear with yourself on how do I do my time? What's my relationship with time? How do I see myself as when I think about time in my life? You know, if you have any questions, ask. Obviously, I'm here for you. Comment, follow the page, hit the bell for the new episodes. Find me on Facebook, PM me on Facebook. I'm here for you guys. If I don't get to your question right away, I'll get to it on Sophie Says Saturday. But I really want to talk about time and about being in a flow of prophetic time. So this is @Ramanda Renee for Bolt Journaling. See you guys in the workshop.